So Mingwei and Lisa Tsai, welcome to Cave Talk. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think you know by now that I'm a complete Philistine when it comes to tea. So you're going to induct me into this wonderful tea that I have today. Is this a Chinese heritage that you are going to be sharing with us today?
It's actually international. It's an international ceremony.
Yeah.
I think, as you said, a lot of our relationship, we are madly in love with a coffee person, or we're madly in love with a tea person.
Yes.
And it's a balance. So sometimes we go through coffee moments, and sometimes we go through tea moments. And different countries has different ceremonial ways of tea making and coffee making. So there is no specific country that we're connecting ourselves to. But all in all is to enter into a ceremonial state when we make tea and we drink it the most authentic way.
Okay, now a ceremonial state suggests there's an occasion that we are either celebrating or mourning.
Ceremonial can be a state of meditation, can be a state of stillness, can be a state of reflection, can be an enjoyment, a celebration, can be, yes, a reflection, a mourning as well.
Okay. Okay, and you say there's a tea for every such ceremonial moment.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to, I did ask, you didn't answer the question really, but I want to understand Chinese culture in relation to tea.
So tea has been found about 4,000, 5,000 years back. So tea drinking in the East has been very, very long.
Yes.
So tea understanding and tea connection has been much longer than that of other beverages.
Yeah.
So definitely it's probably connected to China, but at the same time it's connected to
Southeast Asia.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nepal and India and in all those highlands. So in that area, the tea generated. But 5,000, 6,000 years ago, there was no boundary between countries. So one can't really...
Yes. And in fact, Mingwei and Lisa tell me they've been here for 31 years already, so they are South African. So I get that. I get that. And so your business is how old is you? 15 years old is your business. So just tell us about Giro Cafe, what you sought to do 15 years ago and what you've achieved since then.
So years ago, when we started the tea venture and the tea trend, was really to tap into the origin of how we authentically appreciate tea. So years ago, there was no loose-leaf tea drinking. We're talking about 15 years ago. But I think in this modern time, there are more and more people wanting to know and wanting to find out the most original way of appreciation, appreciating the color, appreciating the aromatics, appreciating the energy behind each drink. Similar to ingredients in food. People nowadays wants to know where the foods are coming from, who are the farmers. So similarly with our drink, we also want to connect to that. And that is more so than ever before. Maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, tea drinking was just, someone put a tea bag inside the cup and it's okay. But now I think one makes more mindful decisions as to what teas you serve on the table and for who. Depends on where you're going, where you are.
That is just fascinating. Yeah, my grandmother used to make tea with a strainer, so she had a very specific. But I mean, post my grandmother, it's the tea bag. I guess it's just kind of simple, and that has been our life. So you, out of 600 teas, or did you say 800?
600.
600 teas. You have brought 8 along here.
Yes.
And you're going to further redact that 8 to 4.
Yes.
And 4 teas we're going to taste.
Yes.
Okay, now is it some discovery that one can have on one's own? Or is it important to have somebody that knows like you, Lisa or Mingwei, induct us into this world of teas?
I think it's personal choice and also the personal preference, actually. So what Nigiro tea has been done for a lot of people are doing customized tea blends for their special events,
Okay.
weddings, birthdays, or even hotels and restaurants for their exclusive blends. So to me, tea is about enjoyment and also sharing, because you don't really share a cup of coffee
Yeah.
with someone else, but you can share a pot of tea with others.
That's a good point. So let's have a coffee sometime. Let's have a tea sometime. I don't want us to run out of time, so let's just run the tasting alongside our conversation. So what's the first one that I'm going to be tasting, and why?
So what we're going to do is we're going to present you the 8 different teas. We're going to describe a little bit on each one, and then I would like you to select 4. You're going to test only 4.
I'm going to taste it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea is I want to find out, or I wish to find out, what are your preferences. Basically, building a tea profile for you. So the first tea that we're presenting to you is gunpowder with mint.
I
So
got that mint, and
yeah.
there's more than mint there.
So that's a green tea. The second green tea we have is green tea called Blue Horizon. So it has pineapple, it has
Fruity.
mango,
I got
it
it.
has fruity. So the beauty about drinking a green tea is to target the vitality and the elevation of tea. So sometimes, depending on the weather, depending on what food you are having, what is your emotion, your mood, your mindset, what you did last night, it changes.
Yeah.
The same tea you drink this morning compared to the same tea you drink later this afternoon would be completely different.
Different mindset.
The third, so we have touched on the 2 green tea. The third tea we're presenting to you is a scented oolong with jasmine.
Yeah.
So very relaxing, very connecting. Some people enjoy the
Am I
fragrance.
supposed to choose, or am I just smelling it?
We just,
Okay.
I'm picking up your facial expressions, and we'll select the 4.
Okay.
Don't worry.
A psychic as well. Okay, that's cool.
Sorry, don't
That's
worry.
fine.
Number 4 is vanilla, cocoa husks, and roses.
Oh, I like it.
So vanilla, chocolate, and roses.
I like it.
are-
Just in case the psychic isn't working.
So that's a beautiful.
And that second one, the fruity one, I really. But I guess I'm a more sweetish kind of.
No, it's beautiful. I think that's.
The wife is green tea.
I think the
hardcore.
idea is for people to understand where they are. So there is an old saying. The elders always says, "Know your tea, know your friends."
So I want to understand. So there's different leaves in this, right? So there's like chai tea, and there's all kinds of
Different black teas.
choco.
green-
There's
They are all just combination of different leaves, different herbs, different spices, different fruits.
that you make at Giro Cafe.
Yes.
A ceremonial tea tasting. Giro Cafe is leading us in this masterclass. Lisa Tsai and Mingwei Tsai are inducting me into hopefully a future love affair with teas. Let's see how far they take me. What next? Okay.
So now we're entering into infusions. So that is a fruit infusions with mango, strawberry, raspberry, apple, and hibiscus.
I'm already liberated. I didn't realize teas can be so diverse.
Then number 5 is a special blend that I've created for my mother-in-law. So it's got mother-in-law blend. So it has beautiful blends and flowers
Beautiful.
that assisted her with sleeping and calming.
Now, not all men have such a wonderful relationship with their mother-in-law.
I'm in love with my mother-in-law.
I can see that, the way you described that.
Yes,
blend.
no, she's very lovely. So depending on the different needs, we connect with different element and aspect of our of tea. We're coming back to South Africa. This is a rooibos with lemon and ginger.
Man. I could smell. I was home.
Thank you so much. And then quickly we're going to Eastern Cape. We're having some honeybush.
Oh, okay.
So that is orange and cocoa.
Do you drink tea without adding anything? Example, sugar. It's a question in for you.
So that's a very nice question. So a lot of the waiters would ask that, especially waiters from hotels and restaurants. They will ask, so what must I say to the customers when when they request for sugar and milk and honey. And then I just said, just try and tell them that they are sweet enough. If it doesn't work, you can just give them anything they want. Most of the times, if we want to have an authentic tea experience, it's best to have it pure.
Okay.
And then later on, if you really want, you can add any other, but to a mindful degree, so that we know exactly where we are. The biggest amount of sugar that I've ever encountered in my tea drinking or tea training experience was a lady in Johannesburg who added 8 teaspoons of sugar in a cup.
Sure. I know an integral part of my granny's tea, love of tea, was condensed milk.
Mm-hmm.
So hers could have been a sweet tea as well, but a very strong Ceylon tea.
So the earthiness of a black tea, either from Sri Lanka, which is Ceylon, or Malawi, or Kenya, or India,
which is the one that we're most familiar with, right?
would round off with the creaminess of the condensed milk.
Okay,
and
so
hence it pairs very well with milk tart, scones.
she would make milk tart as well.
Yes.
So it's like nearly an instinctive thing, right?
It's a connection.
It's
So you will have maybe the cocoa.
my granny's milk tart and jam tart it's just coming alive. It was just giving me memories now. Mingwei and Lisa Tsai inducting me into ceremonial tea tasting. Giro Cafe, an endorsement. Giro, this is a message in. Giro is my favorite place, and the food is just as great. So you want to check it out. Just maybe you want to tell people where you're at.
So we are in Plumstead on Gabriel Road, 71 Gabriel Road. At the tea cafe, we offer obviously teas, and then the food and tea pairing, so that the teas are connected to the food. So most of the times the team will ask you how you feeling, so that we can somehow get a sense of the best teas that is available.
So what response do you get to that question? How are you feeling?
With you?
No, I just I'm feeling.
So you it's my first time meeting you in person.
Yeah.
So you feel very lively and at the same time down to earth, and the flavors that you enjoy has the vitality element of fruits, but then at the same time the grounding sense of memory and connection. And that I got from the few minutes that we have just interacted.
You are a Sangoma. You are a Sangoma. Okay, now I'm going to watch my words. Mingwei.
That's great.
Mingwei Tsai inducting us to tea. Here's a voice note in. Let's take a listen.
Clarence, I enjoy my tea with ideal milk, but my rooibos just plain.
Tea with ideal milk? That's a first for me. I've had coffee with ideal. Well, I'm not big on tea. Let's see if today changes my. Well, it's not an unconscious thing. It's just not part of my vocabulary. You know, like I'll have a cup of coffee, but this is going to be an experience of note. So you've decided, based on your feeling assessment, that I must now have a couple of teas.
So we have got 4 selections. The first one is a green tea with strawberry, pineapple, and mango. And then the second one is I call it the anger management tea. So prevention is better than cure. It has got vanilla, cocoa husks, roses, and black tea. So it's very grounding. And then the third we have is the mother-in-law blend. It's a combination of different herbs for relaxing.
I love my mother-in-law.
And then number 4 is a beautiful rooibos blend with lemon and ginger. Hence, again, very down-to-earth, very grounding energy. So right now we're just infusing the teas.
And it's brewing. This is the way to make it, right?
Yes.
So I need to get all of this equipment to make it this way, or don't you have a tea bag for me?
So beautifully, tea bag is really designed for convenience. Tea bags is really designed for very harsh, fast tea making, so that you can add most of the time sugar, milk, and then there's a whole argument whether you should put sugar first or milk first, and how long you should squeeze your tea bag, and
they all Philistines. They don't know tea.
No, it's all right, but it's there for a reason, and I think it's great. But one day with tea understanding and tea connection, the appreciation would be to understand what type of tea for that specific moment.
And this method of preparation, people talk about the temperature of the water, 60 degrees, whatever the case may be. Tell us about this method of prep.
So very importantly, the greener the tea, particularly the green teas from Japan, from Taiwan, from China, from Thailand, you must not use boiling water. The greener the teas, the younger the tea, hence the more sensitive to the boiling water. In fact, in Japan and in Taiwan, if you have visitors coming to your house, the most polite way of asking them to get out of your house is to make them a boiled green tea.
Okay. I actually got somebody coming this weekend.
Nope.
So does it just changes the quality of the leaf? It becomes a little more what?
So because the tea leaves are young for green tea, so when it's young and thin and tender, they are most sensitive to boiling water, and it will make the tea very bitter, which kind of deplete the whole purpose of.
Maybe that's why I'm off tea, because the person who gave it to me didn't prepare it properly.
I don't know.
Well, it's often kettle's boiling.
Yes.
In with the tea, and you're saying it's something else that.
So the smaller the tea leaves, the more sensitive it is to incorrect temperature. So the beauty is to kind of identify and find the best temperature to water and the infusion time. So what Lisa is doing is she's taking the infuser out of the teapot because she has infused for about 5 minutes.
There's a lot of patience. There's a lot of engagement here. There's a lot of movement. Lisa is working the infuser with the water, and the water is gradually changing color. I wish you could see that as well. So I've got like darker shades on the far side. Are those the black teas on the far side? And I've got the green teas closer to me.
That's right.
Okay, yes.
And the most important thing about tea making for yourself as well as for others is to smile when you drink tea and smile when you make tea. Sometimes
Put
we
a
may
love in it.
Yes, like your grandmother cooking.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yes.
And a milk tart. but do you really believe that the energy, the effort, and the love that you put into the food and into the tea comes out differently if it's missing?
Absolutely. With tea, definitely. That's the reason why we're tapping into the tea making and the tea drinking. So the first cup that we're having together is a Japanese green tea with strawberry, pineapple, and mango.
How do you drink it? Do you gulp? Do you sip? Do you
just smile when you drink tea?
Do you honor it?
Yes, so we thank the tea.
Okay.
And by thanking the tea, we thank the tea maker. We thank the tea grower. We kind of connect.
Okay.
And also to thank the environment where the tea is being made, which is here.
So you're going to thank on my behalf as well.
I've just finished thinking.
Okay. You thank for me.
Go for it.
Right. I'm thinking what he's thinking now. Now let's taste. And it's a sip, right? Wow. I've not had this experience before. It's on the palate, right? It sticks.
So the fruity note and the dry notes of the green tea, it's bouncing and it's in balance. So obviously it depends on your personality and your connection. Some people would pick up the dryness of the green tea. Some people would pick up the fruitiness of the fruits. And it doesn't matter. The idea is it's not bitter. It's at the right temperature.
And it's divine.
And it's sweet. And this will pair beautifully with a cold sandwich, a scone, a small a milk tart.
It is absolutely
So that is Japan.
divine.
That is
And
Japanese styled green tea.
It's not bitter. It's just perfect heat as well. Perfect. Yeah. Just by the way, this is Giro that we're talking about, and Mingwei Tsai is the director at Giro Tea Merchants, and they also do high tea. What's high tea? The English tradition. It's also Ceylon based, is it not?
So high tea is a British kind of a British influence or inspired tea time where there would be the sandwiches, the quiches, the maybe the little bit of salad and
This is the Mount
cakes.
Nelson, right?
Beautiful afternoon tea destination hotels like Mount Nelson.
And you supply them with tea, right?
We supply them with tea.
Okay.
And they are Cape Town, and in South Africa, we are really blessed with a lot of chefs who are very focused in that tea and food connection. So that is kind of a very Western style of tea appreciation and connection.
But even Earl Grey also comes from Southeast Asia, doesn't it?
So Earl Grey technically came from the East, because the bergamot came from the East. But then with time, with history of trade, bergamot is then grew in various parts of Europe, in Africa, and in Americas. And so bergamot you can find in many places nowadays.
It's the Masterclass Ceremonial Tea Tasting with Giro Cafe, Mingwei Tsai, Director at Giro Tea Merchants, and Lisa Tsai, Manager at Giro Tea Merchants, with me in the studio. What an incredible journey and discovery it has been, not just in terms of looking at the way tea is prepared, looking at the colors of the various kind of teas, and just encountering tea so very differently on my palate this afternoon. We've just had one. Maybe you might just tell us about the experience that the journey that you've just taken me on now, the last one, the second one.
So the second one we had was a black tea from India and Sri Lanka, together with Ethiopian cocoa husks, Turkish roses, and Madagascar vanilla.
And now?
And this one is mother-in-law blend.
Okay.
With roses, lavender, chamomile flower.
It is alive with what's the bouquet? It's just so beautiful. What's a nose? I nearly said smell now, but it's nose, isn't it?
Yes. So we connect with our tea in different ways, either aromatics, either colors,
so cultured,
either connections, and the idea is to connect the tea drinker with the tea maker.
I never thought tea could be social. I'm understanding it now, and this induction is incredible, and it's really appreciated. Thank you. I wish you could be part of this experience.
So welcome to Giro Tea Cafe in Plumstead, and in all our restaurant and hotel partners.
So you'll have this kind of tasting thing.
We do have that.
So people come in and you do what you're doing here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we pair with food.
I don't know why I've only been to whiskey tasting.
It's okay. One cup at a time. One cup. One cup. And the last tea that we have for you, Clarence, is rooibos with lemon and ginger.
You're taking me home now. You're taking me home.
Yes, we're coming back home.
I must just tell you, it's not just an incredible bouquet, but it's all around the mouth, and it's around the top, it's around the palate.
And it's beautiful.
I don't even know if it makes sense, but it is a great experience. And you're not... so there's a little bit of that other tea left in there, and now you're putting the other tea on.
It's okay.
There's no issues.
No, tea is... it's okay.
Because the whiskey, people want you to scrub out the other whiskey before they put the new whiskey
they want
in.
they probably want you to broth your mouth also, but it's fine.
Yes.
But it's okay. No, tea
Okay.
tea drinking is fine. You can dance, you can smile, you can sing.
Oh, man.
So this is rooibos, so the earthiness and the citrus notes of lemon, as well as the earthy notes of the ginger. So ginger could be from India, could be from South Africa, or from Nigeria.
Ginger, got it. So this is obviously a little more familiar because I would have rooibos tea. And my rooibos routine is like I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, like clockwork, and I do a lot of work then because the phone isn't ringing and the dogs are sleeping. So, and it's a rooibos straight up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Of course, not caffeine because it doesn't keep me awake.
So the beauty is when we have the tea ceremonies and tea drinking experiences with our guests, we may not know them beforehand. So when we have teas, they become part of our family, and hopefully we'll connect with them in the future with tea, and that's kind of how tea appreciation and tea connection will grow and grow.
Okay, in anticipation of our conversation, I obviously went around the net to find out what my experience was going to be like, and this one page summed up the experience that I've just had, and I feel in agreement, but you must correct it if it's wrong, okay? Fine teas immediately splash up to the palate. The best teas travel across the top of the mouth, moving upwards as soon as they enter our mouths. Great teas travel to the back of the mouth naturally without having to push them back. They transform through the 5 flavors smoothly, quickly. Bitter, astringent. Is it gan? Minty freshness that returns on the breath. Sour and sweet. The tea is smooth in your mouth, feeling viscous and soft. That is an experience that I had. A nice tea also swallows naturally. You also need not push it down. Look for a pinch in the throat as a surefire sign of a lower quality tea or poor preparation. You would agree? Would that be a red flag if that happens? And you know it's not Ngiri teas. It's Giro teas. It's okay. The fine tea coasts the mouth. Anywhere you take your attention within your mouth, you will feel the tea. That was my experience. Fine tea also coats the throat, leaving it warm and comfortable. It's still warm and comfortable. The best teas cause salivation. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Fine teas have a very important feature that the Chinese call, is it Wuhan?
Wuhan.
Han is akin to the minty, cool feeling of the peppermint or the air on a cold winter's day. I like the way you describe teas. Fine teas have a lingering fragrance that slowly rises up the back of the throat and into the nasal cavity. After drinking a fine tea, you sometimes get up and still find the aromatics in your nose, and that's where I'm at this moment in time. Great teas have a deep Is it
Qi.
It's the energy of life.
Energy.
Isn't it? Yeah. As a deep
Qi.
chi that relaxes you, slowly spreading to the whole body in various ways. Yes. Who needs whiskey?
Enjoy.
When you come into my life long ago. I really appreciate this
Thank you.
this discovery. Thank you very much to Lisa Tsai, manager at Giro Tea Merchants, and Mingwei Tsai, director at Giro Tea Merchants. Thank you for bringing us, taking us on this journey. It's appreciated.
Thank you for your tea moments and connection.
No, they are absolutely wonderful tea moments. And
See you soon.